Hello again and welcome everybody to the Guitar Souls, episode 20.
We think.
Yeah, we're guessing at this point, I think. Going by Levi's last upload to YouTube, that was 19, so this must be 20. Sitting next to me is this handsome, beautiful gentleman, Levi Clay.
Hi everybody.
And I am, as you all know, Mike Party Cannon McLaughlin. Exceptional body here. I've had a bit of a shave and a cut, as I'm sure you'll see. Fresh today.
You're missing your other name.
Which would be?
Your Reddit name.
Kidney Fiddler?
Kidney Fiddler.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. I was wondering where you were going with that. Like, has there been a Reddit post about me and I've missed it?
No, it's just if you're going to tell people your Instagram name, you know, why not you?
Yeah, fair enough. Yep, exceptional body here on Instagram and Kidney Fiddler on quite a few platforms. I think that's my Steam name as well if anybody wants to play computer games with me.
Yeah, you have to be very careful on the pronunciation of that one.
That's the fun of it. It's Kidney Fiddler, okay? Don't think it's anything else.
Very good. It's okay to be edgy.
Just for bonus points, that's actually the song title, or a song title, sorry, from my old band, Agonised Deformity. I think the EP is still online if you just look up Agonised Deformity, and it was on Bandcamp. So if you want to listen to some Scottish death metal with a horrendous sense of humour, go ahead. There was a song called Weeble Leeble 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 Leeble, and that's because the vocals were for one part of it. Fun fact, there's another song, might have actually been Weeble Leeble Leeble Leeble, that had the lyrics that were about Party Cannon before I joined the band. So some trivia for you,
that's
straight
meta.
off the bat, innit?
Yeah,
That's
nice.
that's cool. I like that, good fun.
Yep.
So anyway, as ever, here we are back. Before we even start, I just want to say I have currently got a very sore throat and a weird chest, so if I start coughing, tell Levi not to phone an ambulance or anything, just let me die here and I can get on with it. It's also an extremely clammy, almost 17 degrees here, plus we've got the lights on, so you're going to notice that I have the rosiest cheeks in the world, and I am very quickly becoming aqueous. And
people in other countries are laughing at you because they're like, it's 17 degrees and you're bothered by that.
You haven't been to Scotland. Like, a humid 17 in Scotland is like 40 in Turkey to me. Like, it must be. That shit fucking kills me. I am not good in heat. Anyway.
Cool.
A few good topics to go by. Before we even introduce any, Levi's told me he's got an incredible rant to go on, and I'm all excited to hear about it, so I'm just going to hand him straight over.
Oh yes, it's rant time, boys. For anyone watching the video, if me and Mike turn a little bit, well, actually, Mike's not on a swivel chair, so it doesn't work. You can see my new pedal board is up behind me, and it's beautiful. It's impeccably wired. It's a Temple audio pedal board. They're fantastic, and I wanted to really go the whole hog and make sure that when I made this pedal board, it wasn't going to be cheap. It was going to be right.
Yeah,
you know?
You'd said there was no compromises from the start.
Yeah, when it was done, and I wasn't going to have to worry about it anymore. So the pedal board itself, the Temple audio stuff, not cheap, but I like the design, so it suited me. I've not even shown Mike this. Actually, if you grab it, Mike, while I'm talking, if you look on the underside, I've got some trickery going on under there.
Oh, he's a fly man.
Yeah.
I was assessing whether I should lift that with strength.
I'll pull this cable out from underneath. So everything wired nicely underneath. I've got a buffer pedal underneath, hidden underneath, that no one would know. Would know is there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so
I love the locking barrel jacks as well. Really clever.
Yeah, so awesome, absolutely awesome. And I put all those in. It doesn't come with those. So
those aftermarket.
So it has these modules on the side where you can put things in. And I decided you can buy like a 4-patch thing to go on them, but I wanted 2 on each side, so I did them myself.
For those of you that can see, these barrel jacks, they basically lock the jack in, so you can't pull the cable out without releasing it. Yeah. Almost like an XLR or a speak-on.
Yeah. So
it's such a beautiful manufactured board as well. Actually, that's the first time I've really touched it.
Super clever design with these. You can see these thumb screws where everything is screwed in place. So there's no Velcro on the board because owning 3 dogs. Dog hair everywhere. I wanted to not have Velcro. Anyway, so yeah, I've got a lot of nice pedals, and tone is obviously quite important to me, especially when you're going through that many pedals. So I decided I was going to go for the best of the best when it came to patch cables. And I put out. I'm okay making my own cables. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I can pick up soldering iron and solder any cable I want. So I put out a little status on Facebook asking the guys, what would you guys recommend for soldered patch cables? Where are you guys getting your connectors from, and where are you getting your cable from? because I wanted the best cable and the best connectors. And consistently, everybody said the same thing, which is the Lava solderless kits have virtually the smallest connectors on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked around, and you know what? People are right. Lava do have what appears to be the smallest connectors on the market. So I thought, screw it, let's go with the Lava stuff.
Don't disagree with you. I mean, even last time we spoke about it, I was like, surely they can't be smaller than the MXR pancake ones. And you're like, nope, still smaller.
Yeah.
So he's done his research.
They're as thick as the cable, basically. Very, very good design. Sorry, not very good design. In theory, very good design. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. The problem is they're not cheap. They are not cheap at all. You pay £62 for a pedalboard cable kit, which contains 10 connectors and enough cable to make, well, more than enough cable. Really, you're paying for the connectors. I've used 3 packs of them now, and I've only used the cable from one of them. So, yeah, you're totally paying for the connectors. So, really, you're looking at £62 to be able to make 5 patch cables, which is obscenely expensive. Yeah. And I've had to get 3 packs of the bastards just to cable up my board. Like, it's just unnecessary amounts of money. Anyway, so let's talk about the issue with them. And I want to rant. So, in theory, a good design. You have these, the little connector, and it basically comes in 3 parts. You've got the actual jack socket. You've got, like, I don't know what you'd call this, a
sleeve,
brace. Yeah, inner sleeve, that suits. And then you've got the outside part that screws on. I've prepared a cable here. And, yeah, I've stripped it. I've done this side, stripped it, put the jacket over the top of it. Then it's a case of I need to take off this semi-conductive black plastic part, so that's fine. Cool. That in theory should be okay. And I'm going to have Mike do this for me, catching him totally unawares. So in theory, when you look at these jack sockets, what they have is you look inside and there's a needle in there, and that needle goes in and penetrates the inner core.
Yeah, the copper.
Yeah. So, in theory, clever design. I did have a problem where the needle snapped off on one of them, and I also had a problem where one of the needles was bent, which was an issue. But I'll come on to that. Anyway, so that needs to slot onto there, if you could be so kind.
How forceful do I need to be till it basically meets the bottom?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So, how you getting on with that?
Jesus fucking Christ. That's razor sharp.
Yeah, that is razor sharp.
What the fuck? Are you got a set of pliers or something? I don't want to lose a finger.
Let's have a look.
Listen, these need to be insured and they're not, alright?
Let's see how you're getting on.
So far, not good.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip ahead.
Fucking ow.
Yeah, right. So I did the first 10 cables without anything on the hands, and then I realised that the only way to get round this was to use pliers. You put pliers on here, and then you can push it down like that. This ends up scratching the jack socket. So if you look at most of my cables, they have scratched jack sockets. In the end, what I came up with was using an adjustable spanner like this. And it's amazing when you watch the promo videos of these cables, they put them on with no effort whatsoever, and I've just not experienced that in making 15 of the bastards. So like this.
Was it fucking Hellboy that was doing the demo?
Yeah, exactly. So it's still not on there properly. Let's just continue on though, right? So I'm not even going to be able to test this properly. This then bends at a right angle, and then you come in with the sleeve or the cover that goes on there, and you can see we're a long way off being able to make connection with it. Anyway, so I'm going to make connection with it. And again, I'm doing this like a really cheating way, because the amount of force required to get these fucking cables to actually go together is ridiculous, and I've worked out like a cheater's way of doing it, which often involves scratching the actual jack socket. Just
as an observation, can anyone else hear the legitimate anger in his voice?
The actual exertion. So look, already I've just, in order to do that's already scratched, which isn't ideal.
Yep, I mean, I would say it's even scored rather than scratched. There's teeth marks in it because you've had to grip it so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you're then at risk, obviously, breaking the cable as well, because you're having to force it into this fucking stupid-looking socket.
Well, I've not experienced that yet.
Well, that's good. It must be so. It looks like it's good cable. It's obviously solid.
The cable's great.
Double shielded, triple shielded even.
So, in theory, we've got a cable together there now.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm going to do now is check to see if we've actually got a cable together there now by plugging it into my Kemper. I'll plug that end in, and I should just be able to tap this end of the cable. And if I've got a connection, it's going to...
Yeah, it should be correct. The tip should be hot.
And we're probably going to be embarrassed here and have a good connection. But
that's not really embarrassed. You're still showing that the manufacturer design and how it's demoed isn't really representing how it is to make the cables.
I'd be very sceptical of us having an actual connection. Can you track me that green cable?
I certainly can. I mean,
I'll just use this as
I
a
do have
test
some
to make
experience in making cables up. Stupid as this sounds, my dad works for Virgin and has worked for Telewest, Blue Yonder, blah blah blah. So I've made coax cables with him.
Sure. Your dad is a virgin.
That's it. Over. We're done. That's the logical paradox.
Yeah.
Good effort though.
Okay, ready? Okay, so we did get a connection that time, which is good.
But my point was going to be, for anything you make up cables, even for like coax cable like this for making up for TV signals and such, it's much the same idea, except the connection at the end doesn't have like a hot tip. It'll have the copper on the inside pointing out the top, where it connects into your Virgin box or your Sky box or whatever. When you make those cables up, you need to have a crimping tool to jam the connection on, because there's a plastic sleeve, much like the inside sleeve of that then goes into where the pin sits that splits the copper from the outside that you've got there, and then the copper on the inside allowing that central pin to come through. And you genuinely need to click this together for it to go in. So is this supposed to come with a tool that it hasn't, or is this the idea just meant to be that that's it?
Some of the first ones I did manage to, with a lot of force and pain on my hands, get them to go together.
Yeah.
But I've still got, you can see a recovering blister there from trying to screw the things together. And then I just had to resort to the tools out of pain. So when you look at this now, you can see actually this one worked perfectly. You can see the hole where it's gone into the copper.
Yep.
Right. The problem is, I'm making these cables, and many times the needle in the socket actually goes into the white plastic around the edge, and once that's happened, game over. You are not going to get that needle to go into the copper after that, because every time you've essentially made a pilot hole for it, so it's just going to go in there, which means that you need to cut more cable off and get it to actually work, which is annoying. Also, if when this comes down, like I say, I'm surprised this didn't happen this time, but if any part of that center thing comes into contact with the copper shielding, it shorts out. If the black comes into contact with it, it shorts out. And that was a consistent problem I was finding anytime I was putting these things together. I was just getting shorts over and over and over. And I'm not an idiot. Like, if I can pick up a soldering iron, I could literally go out and buy unshielded copper and make cables and shield them. Like, I know how to do this. I'm not an idiot. But these as a system, then they're nowhere near as foolproof as people want to have you believe they are. A lot of time and effort has gone into getting these to work. And the worst part was, I got everything working, at least I thought I got everything working, and then 24 hours later one of them shorted on my board. So I then had to take the entire board apart and test every single cable, which isn't that difficult if you've got everything velcroed down, but when everything is screwed down, that was a bastard.
Have you got a cable tester, or did you have to do it manually?
I mean,
just plug in and touch.
Yeah, I don't see that being much different to an actual cable tester.
No, not too bad.
An actual cable tester, you're still going to need to plug two ends of a cable in to make sure that it's working. With this, I'm just doing that and going, cool. So cool, I've got half a cable there. I don't have any more connectors, so I won't be able to make the other end of that now.
It's a shame too, because it does look like it's really good equipment. Even this copper on the outside is braided.
Yeah, so in theory, that's what I should say. When these work, they're great. And I
did see that when you got them working, they were pretty much bomb-proof.
Yeah. I'm a little bit annoyed that went as smoothly as it did. I mean, we saw the pain of you trying to put that on, and me working out my tools. It's still scratched, so it's not perfect.
Not ideal.
But
if that came with like a crimping tool, it'd be perfect. Literally just something that was the right width to sit on here, because that's obviously knurled for a reason.
Yep. So you can
to
grip
clip
it.
on. Exactly. So something just clipped round the edge of the jack, even if it's something you plugged the jack into, and then something that caught the bottom of the cable, you just clamped your hands together and it crimped it as it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Perfect. But
yeah,
so try to do that by hand. Are you mad?
So here's where things get worse, right?
I was going to say, here we go.
Yeah, so I had these issues, and basically what it resulted in was me having two sockets that were useless to me. Now, if I had hundreds of them at my disposal, cool, no problem. But as I say, you purchase 10 of these for £62. So they're like £6 each. So to have two of them fail on me, or to be faulty, is not acceptable. So I reached out to Hot Rocks. I bought them via Hot Rocks, via email. They never got back to me. After like 5 days, I had to call them. And I spoke to the guy and explained what had happened. He said, yeah, sorry, we didn't get back to your email. We're just really busy this end. He sent me 2 replacements. They are there. Could you grab them?
Yes. are they still sealed? So
Yes.
throw them everywhere.
What do they look like?
Not the same.
Not the same, yeah.
Definitely not the same. Those have got plastic sheaths on them.
Yeah.
And some other inner plastic tip core that I'm guessing you're supposed to put onto the copper first, then insert it into the jack end.
Absolutely no idea. But the point, and the thing is, they're both different, aren't they?
Fuck, they're different from each other.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They're different from each other.
No, they're not. They're not. They're the
They
same.
are they not?
No, they're the same. Just that one had all the parts inside it.
Okay, fine.
Basically, these are the connectors for that, but
Mhm.
not specifically for that cable by the
Yes.
looks of it, because it's got individual plastic sheathing
Yeah.
to avoid it shorting.
I think they call this their Easy Connect cable as well.
I mean, that's probably a better design than those, despite the fact it's more fiddly.
Yeah, well,
because
I know what
that's
these
then
are now.
separating the copper end,
Yep.
your inner sheath, your outer sheath, and then the actual end. But it doesn't change the fact that they're different from what you got
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah. And I know why this happened. So I reached out to Lava Cables to send them a picture of those, and also send them a picture of the sockets that had failed, just to see if they knew that there was an issue and stuff like this can happen. And the guy from Lava eventually got back to me again after about 5 days, and basically just said, I'm really sorry to hear that this has happened. I actually sold the brand like 6 months ago though, so I don't own the company anymore, so I can't really help you.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, and I was like, right. What do you want me to do then?
Yeah. Why are you still answering the messages for the Facebook then?
Why do you still own the Facebook page? You
Yeah.
sold the brand, pass it on.
Yeah.
I basically got the answer from him that those ones that they'd sent me in replacement were the soldered version of the cable.
Makes total sense when you see that tip, actually.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I said to him, oh, that's cool. Well, I'll have a look around and see if I can find a video on how the soldered tips work then. And rather than saying, good idea, here's a link, he went, cool. He just said cool, and that's the last I heard from him. So, yeah, just an absolute shit show. I got back in touch with Hot Rocks, explained that they'd sent me the wrong connectors, and the guy was very apologetic, and he said, I'll get 2 more of the correct ones sent out to you now. They did come. I finished up the pedal board. Yeah, it's a ball ache, because, like I say, they're small, they're tiny, it's what I want, and I still do need, let me see, 1, 2, 3... I still need 3 more cables for my board, right?
Right.
Why can I not just buy 6 of the connectors? I've got enough fucking cable.
Well, let's put it out here. Anyone from Hot Rocks who might be, by any matter of luck or chance, watching or listening, here's your challenge. Get 6 connectors to us and somehow design some sort of crimper and let us review it and go, they've definitely listened,
Well,
this is better.
Hot Rocks is just a retail shop.
Oh, so they don't own the Lava
No,
brand
they don't
now?
own the
Sorry,
brand.
okay. I thought they'd maybe taken over from
No,
the
no,
gentleman had sold.
No, Hot Rocks are just, they're a UK retailer.
Okay, well, Hot Rocks, if you want to...
If you want to make some money, stock the individual sockets so I can buy 6 of them, because I don't want to buy 10 of them. Again, at £6 each, for me to buy 4 more than I need is actually a lot more money than is necessary when you consider I've already spent over £180 on fucking patch leads.
With some extra cable that you don't need.
Yeah, just...
I mean, I'm going to say you would pick one of the most expensive ones you could imagine.
Oh, of course.
Because you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you're buying something that expensive, you shouldn't have that concern.
Yeah.
I mean, if the product's likely to fail, you should at least have the backup that you know the service end's going to totally back you up.
Yeah.
I think, personally.
So...
Anyway, good rant. I like that.
I didn't get as angry as I thought I was going to. Probably because I'm a bit embarrassed, like I say, that we put that cable together and it fucking worked.
Well, you
That's
shouldn't
just
be
my
embarrassed because what it still highlights is this design could be much better. How this is put together by hand for a solderless kit could be much better, and all it would take is literally someone at the R&D side for Lava going, why don't we put a crimper in the pack? It would cost them pennies to manufacture.
Yep.
For
You get this in the pack. This is the stripping
Cable slicer,
tool,
yeah.
which is very clever. It's got these different notches on it for different thicknesses for certain cables. You know, this works. I'll give them that. It's probably the best part of the kit. Anyway, yeah. So that was heavy. Why don't we do something light-hearted? What do you think of Polyphia?
I quite like them. I would probably quite like to see them live. I think they'd probably be the same idea as Sean. I went in without too much of an impression, really, when we went to see Sean and Yvette Young, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Surname? Yeah. And expected Yvette to be fucking incredible and Sean probably not to do too much for me. and found that Yvette had a lot of problems on stage with turning lights off and back on. I don't know what was going on with that.
I forgot about that, but yeah.
That was a bit of a shame. And she was still good, but it wasn't quite the atmosphere I expected from her. And then Sean came on and literally kicked the dick off me. They were unbelievable. Like, for that kind of music, I didn't expect there to be much of an atmosphere or really a lot of dynamic to it or power or even staying power for it, like not to listen to it for a while. But they were tight as fuck. They sounded great, and Jesus Christ, did they have so much dynamic to the music.
Yeah. I'm pulling my hatred face.
You still enjoyed it?
No, my hatred face is for the overuse of the word literally. I hate it when people use literally and they don't mean literally.
Sorry.
They literally kicked your dick off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Sorry.
I had an argument with my father-in-law.
You see what I need to fucking put up with?
I had an argument with my father-in-law because I
Was it a
gave
literal
him
argument?
that. Yeah, it was a literal argument.
That's good.
Well, I don't know if it was literal. It wasn't too heated, but his argument is he has an issue just with the word literally, because I say I hate it when people use it in the wrong context, use it incorrectly. He says he hates it when people use it because there's never a time when it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagreed. I think there are definitely times where you using the word literally so people know that you are being serious, that you're not telling a joke, and you literally mean what you're saying, is useful. But he said people should just mean what they say.
Okay, fair enough.
So.
Well, I didn't literally have my cock kicked off. Just to clarify,
that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen at Monuments. A big boot.
Hopefully, you've not told Brown to come out and just boot me right in the stones, because that's the only way it's going to happen. Literally. Thanks. Anyway, back to Polyphia.
Yeah, Polyphia.
So yeah, I haven't seen them live, but I think they would be pretty much outrageous live. You found quite an interesting little thing online though about them, eh?
Yeah, so I mean, musically, they're not really my cup of tea, but I kind of admire what they do.
I think that's the same idea as Sean, maybe then. Like, that's what I mean, like the same approach. Wouldn't necessarily expect to go and really enjoy it. Probably would.
I mean, I say musically not my cup of tea.
They're getting better and better, aren't they?
They're just so... It's amazing to me. They're so far removed from my understanding of what guitar is. And you look at it and go, well, this is just weird edited to fuck stuff. But then you watch videos of them on Instagram just playing it in their bedroom. You're like, holy shit, like you've come up with that absolute madness. And it's just, like I say, so far removed from what I expect from a guitar.
So I mean, it's Party Cannon with melody.
Yeah.
So you respect Party Cannon? Oh, we've got it out now.
But I do remember at some point when I was getting a...
No answer.
Yeah. It might have been the Bear tattoo, a full day session of tattooing in rock and roll. And they were playing music over their sound system, and a couple of things came on that I was like, this is cool, I like this. And I Shazammed it, and it was Polyphia. So yeah, fair enough. You got me in the right way, which is I heard something that I thought was really cool and then decided to find out who it was. So yeah, musically cool. I'm interested to see what they do.
Yeah, they've definitely got some cool catchy little licks.
Yeah.
Enough to catch in for you to disarm yourself from the instant reaction of, it's Polyphia, I probably won't like it.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Having said that, this is just really funny to me, and I'm not entirely sure if it's Tim Henson, isn't it? One of their guitar players. I'm not entirely sure if he was trolling here or being deadly serious, but it was brought to everyone's attention in one of the music groups that I'm in. It was brought to my attention that Charvel have released this, and Levi, remember to put this on screen at this time because I'm tired of not fucking doing this. Put it on screen. Charvel have released this. So this is a pink Charvel Strat, baked maple board, white hardware.
Can we go a step further and say it's shell pink?
You can go a step further and call it shell pink because shell pink is a Fender colour, and Charvel is owned by Fender. So yes, you can absolutely use the term shell pink. And we all know that
light matte pink is shell pink is associated with Fender.
Yes.
Even those who are not Fender players, for example, myself.
Yes. So what we're saying there is shell pink is Fender.
By far.
Cool.
It always has been.
Cool, absolutely.
You'd as well calling Fiesta Red a Fender colour as it is. Daphne Blue. We could go further.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not my cup of tea. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. It looks okay, but I certainly don't look at it and go, oh my god. But lots of people are really excited about it. Anyway.
No, it's quirky, but it's not like mega exciting. It's just cool because it's cool.
So Tim Henson comes out on Twitter, posts a picture of the Charvel, and just goes with Charvel ripping me off. Nice. Because it seems not his main guitar, but he has an Ibanez AZ series that is pink with white hardware, baked maple board with white dot inlays.
And the white strat knobs is the other thing you mentioned.
Yeah. So we'll come to that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, first off, is that necessarily ripping off? And also, you're talking about Ibanez here. I can look through the Ibanez range right now, and they've got their Kiesel knockoffs, which are the sort of, how would you call it, like the plain wood contours.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if Kiesel invented that, but they were certainly the first company I saw doing a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them that.
They would have like almost sanded through the top on the body, so you can see the body wood from as well from these. Yeah, I think they were the first to kind of do the body cut that came all the way through the top.
Okay,
that I remember of.
They've also got a new kind of 7-string, 6-string, purpley type thing that. It basically is the Miners John Brown Angel Burst.
Yeah.
Again, cool. Influenced by cheaper version of it. It's just how these like Tom Quayle's got a signature Ibanez, and I've seen, I can't even remember who it was now, but someone has basically released a Tom Quayle signature. No, you know what it was? It was when Tom was playing his Fibonari. Ibanez released a guitar that was basically Tom Quayle's Fibonari. Influence is there. People have things they like. Anyway, so someone tweeted back at Tim and said to him, "You can complain when Ibanez offers a mass-produced pink AZ," which I feel is fair criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And what did Tim fire back with? "I'll complain because they jacked my shit to a T. Shell pink, white inlays on roasted maple, white pickups, white strat knobs in capitals. It's lit. I know I've got good taste, but fucking no asses." Right.
Cool. So those things that Fender are associated with.
You've literally described it as shell pink, which is a Fender colour.
Yep.
And you've literally said strat knobs, white strat knobs.
Yep, and white pickups. I mean, I'm pretty sure most strats come with white pickups.
Also, what are you going to do if you have I'm going to use shell pink. What are you going to do? Have a shell pink guitar and put black pickups in it? Tim, mate, I hate to break it to you. You stole your design from the Hello Kitty strat.
Pretty much. Fuck, I mean, not far off.
Yeah.
But I mean, Charvel is a Fender brand as well. Of course, they're going to use Fender parts and Fender designs. They're owned by Fender.
Also, you play an Ibanez AZ, which is a rip-off of a fucking Sir Modern. I love the AZ series, don't get me wrong. They're absolutely incredible instruments. But let's not pretend that they're not heavily influenced by the Sir Modern, you know?
It's bad to be short-minded when it comes to the influences of certain things and to act as if you're holier than thou when you're not.
You're going after the wrong people, my friend. You need to be going after Ibanez. You need to be pointing out to them that they should have released your guitar as a mass-produced pink AZ. Because either Fender have accidentally released this and people are going to buy it because they like the look of it, or they've deliberately looked at the situation and said, well, Ibanez aren't catering to what people want, so we're going to make it, and they've got the sales. Either way, the person that's done the stupid thing here is Ibanez, and then subsequently you for blaming the wrong person for it. And this is why I say I'm not entirely sure if he's trolling or not, because I get a lot of character references for him. A lot of people say he's a really nice guy, and I don't doubt that for a second. But also some people say he's mind-numbingly arrogant as well. So it could be one or two ways. You know, he could absolutely believe the hype or his own hype, or he could be having a little bit of fun. Either way, I thought it was very funny.
And also someone just replied to him saying poo poo and also pee pee.
Yeah, that's Brett. Shout out to Brett Fairchild.
I've seen that name a few times online, so.
He's a good lad. Good.
It
was him that posted it in the group, and he drew attention to it when people said, you posted poo poo and also PP, and he said, well, I wanted to add something that was just as relevant, just added just as much to the conversation, just as idiotic. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what was intended with that. But,
yeah, I mean, like if he had like a custom inlay design that was like completely different and obviously unique to him, like his logo or something, then maybe I'd be like, right, okay, that's a bit shit. But a brand owned by another brand who are one of the biggest brands in the industry, using their own colour from their own palette and some of their own parts on a design, isn't plagiarism. Is that the easy way to put it?
Yeah, let's go with that. Anyway, Tim, call into the show, buddy.
Come on, we'll debate.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip over the next thing we've got on our list. We will come back to it. I want to do the thing that's just after that. And now I've lost it. Where is it? Just completely gone.
How the fuck have you managed to lose it?
I have too many windows. So this was not over there. It'll be in our group.
Yes.
Denise Ivanov.
This was posted, I think, a wee while ago. I remember reading it. And Levi posted it in our group where we basically collate the ideas we have for topics and ideas for things that we would be worth discussing, and sometimes the hot gossip that raises itself in the industry sometimes. However, this is just a kind of
and dick pics
and dick pics. None of you get to see them.
Not worth looking at.
Nah, definitely not. Anyway, sorry, to get back on track, this I think is just quite an interesting point of view, and I think that's the reason why you posted it as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to read it? Would you like me to?
I'll read it because people understand me.
Probably. I mean, they'll probably need more subtitles now that I've got a sore throat and I'm kind of squeaky.
I've had a few people actually reach out and say that the best thing about the Guitar Souls is they find it pretty easy to understand Scottish accents now. So we're exposing them to it, which is nice. You've exposed yourself to people. Again, you got in trouble for that before.
Yeah, but I'm not going to jail this time.
You're getting complimented for it now.
Fucking yeah.
So Denise Ivanov, this is such a great take on things, and it never really occurred to me, and I don't know why, because it's just so obvious, and obviously I'm one of the world's great thinkers, so...
Arsehole Stottle.
Yes. So, Guitar Soul Stottle. So Denise Ivanov, I think everyone whose response to the financial struggles of an artist is, well, you should have gone into tech or something useful, should have to go 30 days with no reading, no TV, no movies, no museum visits, no video games, no theatre, and have arts stripped from all of their other experiences. No music in restaurants, nothing at sporting events, bars, stores, nothing. No audiobooks or podcasts or music on their commute. After 30 days deprived of all contributions of artists, I would be interested to know if anyone still says that artists were drains on society and unworthy of life. That last bit's a bit dramatic. I don't think anyone's ever implied that artists are wastes of life.
No. But no, she's not saying a waste of life. She's saying unworthy of life, I suppose, in the idea that if you are basically saying that your career of the arts doesn't justify you having money, then how are you supposed to survive?
Yep.
It is dramatic. I don't disagree, but I don't think she's saying like
you shouldn't
be killed. I don't think that's the implication, but I understand that. It's a very good point of view.
I'd never ever been presented with this argument, and I just thought it was so good because I do all right in my career. I make ends meet, but there have certainly been times where I've really fucking struggled. And there are still questionable times. And of course, I work in the arts. Like, what would you expect? I bumped into Lyle Watt at Joey Landreth. Wild Lyle, the one and only, the man, the legend, the myth, Jesus Christ himself, Scottish Christ. So I bumped into Lyle at Joey Landreth and asked how things are going with him. He's doing really well.
He seems to be fairly busy,
working with a signed band and stuff. So, and he's just put his new album out. So yeah, he's extremely busy, which is great. And but then he made a little jokey comment at me, and it's a bit of a dig. He said I should have done what you do, which is don't bother playing any music, just talk about it. And like you can see where he's coming from. But the last thing we need as musicians, entertainers, etc., is to cannibalise each other. Because I went down this route because the performance side of things for me seemed a little bit more draining on the social life type of thing. But there's maybe not equal contribution, but we bring joy to people's lives. Like people enjoy my content, and I'm starting to be okay with that because there have been many times in my life where people have been like, you should go out and get a real job. Like, fuck right off. You would be miserable if it wasn't for people like me.
That is just jealousy speaking. It is.
Yeah, like no one wants to pay the musicians, but...
Well, that's it. Like, as soon as you do something that could even be considered a hobby as well as a lifestyle, people instantly associate you as some sort of lazy or... I don't want to say scammer, but it's like... The implication almost is like, you don't know what real work is, you're not a grafter. I know you work hard as fuck, you make it look like you don't at times, but Jesus Christ.
Mate, the easiest way to tell how hard I work is just watch any of my YouTube videos that require screen capture software. Anything with my live transcription videos, because you can see the time on my clock when I'm working. I'm making these, all of my videos,
I know.
All 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I know you work like fuck.
Yeah. I have no social life. I don't have holidays. I don't really drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I plough all of my time and effort into work because fortunately I enjoy what I do. So
well, that's a good thing, and I think it brings you some joy as well, which is.
Anyway, you had a really interesting take on this. You read that and then said that it makes you feel guilty about like party cannon. So and you started saying it. Now I immediately said stop. Talk about it on the podcast because I didn't want to hear it. I wanted to see what you were going to say.
I was going to say it kind of. It gives me mixed feelings. I think this is a very, very good point. And I think people would probably see me as maybe somewhere in between, because when I think of being in Party Cannon and the band doing well, like if you look at like subjective milestones such as being signed to a record label, touring, getting to play with bigger bands, festival offers, that kind of thing, selling merchandise, which we do quite well with actually, which is good because it helps us tour more and basically go out as much as we can. Anyway, I see that basically as a hobby that gets me to go and do beautiful things around the world, meet new people, drink new beer. Great. But I wonder if I would then be lumped in as well, because it doesn't matter how well you're doing as a band, there will be at one point where you need to put your hand in your pocket. And I think that goes for bands of almost any size, whether that's to pay for fuel because you've not had a good night for merchandise, or you've had a problem with getting your guarantee, which does happen. You'd be surprised how many times, even with contracts, people struggle at the door, or something happens and goes wrong, or something as simple as thinking about, well, cool, we're all the way away from home, I didn't quite get as much food as I wanted when we were at the venue, I'm extra hungry, so I now need to put my hand in my pocket to get more food. I don't expect the band to sustain me in that respect when I'm out on the road, and I don't think most people do either. But that's still spending my money on something that's like it's not a job. I mean, it really is a working holiday when I'm away with the band, but it's still a hobby to me. And I don't know where I sit in that respect to people who maybe see it as like, well, you should have went into tech or blah blah blah, like you should have a real job, because there's a lot of work goes in, even to the band as a hobby, to practice twice a week, to pay for the rehearsal studio, which the band pays for out of their own pocket, by the way. We all pay monthly to lease and keep the studio running, pay for the electricity. We pay for all our own equipment per member. Daft, the strings and plectrums up to actual instruments, cables, amplifiers, speakers. When something goes wrong in the studio, we need to fix it ourselves. One of the speakers has developed a fault with the HF tweeter, and I'm in the process of working out whether it's the actual tweeter that's the problem or the amplifier, and if it's the amplifier and the speaker, then that needs to go for repair, which could be quite costly. If it's just a tweeter, I could probably get a replacement and do it myself. You know, all these things, like, they are costs on the musician, and to not see the value in you getting to see a band that you might like and get some joy from it, who've travelled a couple of 100 miles to entertain you, and then you find that, oh, I don't want to pay £5-10, and I'm bad for not going to gigs as well. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't say this as if I'm in some cherished position that I go to every single gig that I'm interested in and I support every band that I should. And I don't think that's necessarily a criticism on anyone who doesn't make it to every gig, but people that don't value the idea of the arts, that don't see the work that goes behind the scenes, probably aren't giving themselves the opportunity to really see what goes in to making the band work. Like, the amount of time it takes to even just to like learn songs sometimes and get it tight and understand each other's social cues when it comes to stuff on stage, like really, really stupid things you wouldn't think about, that still costs you money. It costs you time. Your time is valuable also as well. So
I'm going to jump in though and say, not to contradict you, but to say I don't think any of that matters. I think you've taken the argument like you're on the back foot and that you need to defend yourself. The whole point of this is that, to me, the whole point of what Denise has said here is that you don't need to defend yourself anymore. You don't need to justify the cost. No, even if making music for Party Cannon or whatever it is you do, making this podcast, if it was completely effortless, if petrol didn't cost any money, if hosting didn't cost any money, if time editing video and shit like that.
Microphones.
Yeah, we like even if we could do this at the click of our fingers, taking no time, no money, no nothing. If people listen to it and enjoy it, then it has value to them. And how would you feel in life if all of that was removed? It would be a horrible, harrowing experience. Mm-hmm. You would be you must have seen the film Equilibrium, right?
Oh, I fucking love it. Guncutter,
film.
Christian Bale.
Yeah,
Amazing.
wonderful film, right?
Yes. Very good point in it as well.
Yeah, emotion, and you would be living in the land of equilibrium if you had this. If you just removed all sorts of, it's not, as she points out, not just music, but no reading, no TV, no movies, no museums, no video games. Like
The aesthetic design that goes into things in your house. Like, if you've got a nice fridge freezer, someone's designed that. Your car, that's been designed.
Yeah.
Your house, that's been designed.
Yeah.
Those are all art forms.
I'm a year behind with games on this front, but I've just started playing Assassin's Creed Origins.
I fell away for the Assassin's Creed games. I just felt like it was the same game over and over. It might not be, but I didn't play Black Flag onwards.
They took a year off after Syndicate, and Origins was the return. It feels very different.
I just get very fed up not playing Desmond.
It's basically not even Assassin's Creed anymore. At least I'm
it's
10 hours in, and the word assassin has not been used. The word Templar has not been used.
No?
The combat system is totally different. You've got shield and sword, and you have to, fight and parry. It feels like an entirely different.
Okay.
Like they've rebooted the series, and they're using the Assassin's Creed name to have some validity to it.
I was just surprised it didn't. Like, the next game wasn't Assassin's Creed still cock teasing you.
Yeah. Anyway, point is, just while playing that, like, you just look around when you're wandering around this massive map. I mean, it's not to scale, but they have all of Egypt, the entirety of fucking Egypt. I've gone through 3 regions, right, and it's bigger than I could ever imagine. Like, I never fast travel in games. If there's a horse or a car, like Grand Theft Auto, I'm never fast traveling. I'm just going to drive because that's the enjoy. No, I wouldn't do it in this. I wouldn't get on my camel and go from the start of region 1 to the end of region 3, right? There are like 30 regions. It's unbelievably big. And every single aspect of it, you look at a building and there's brickwork on the building. Someone has designed it, drawn it, animated, programmed it. It's the amount of effort that goes in the creative arts to...
But that's not just the look of it as well. That will then have a physical presence in the physics engine. That'll have, like, there's even more design in it than meets the eye.
Yeah. Having said that, I did go to the cinema last night. I went to see Venom. And, I mean, there was a long credits list for that film. And every single person on that list should be fucking ashamed of themselves.
Really?
Really.
Was it that bad?
Absolutely dreadful.
Fuck me, I wasn't expecting it. A friend of mine said, and he found an article online, absolute fucking fake news as far as I'm concerned. Apparently, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper and all the other executives who were involved with A Star Is Born had been basically online writing anonymous reviews and articles for Venom saying that it wasn't very good, so that A Star Is Born would be the number 1 for the weekend because it launched the same weekend. And I was like, do you really think they're that spiteful to worry about another film? Like,
a completely different market as
exactly,
well. Like, no one's going to go, which of these 2 films am I going to go and see? They do both appeal to me.
To be fair, I'm the same.
Yeah.
And I saw one and you saw the other.
But, mate, oh my God, just legitimately, easily one of the worst films I've ever seen. Easily one of the worst films I've ever seen.
X-Men Wolverine Origins.
Much worse.
Much worse?
Much worse.
Are
Mate,
you fucking joking?
X-Men Wolverine Origins is not great, but I don't think it's a bad film. Like, there are plenty of elements of that film that I enjoy. There are plenty of parts of it that are cool.
All right.
This, just dreadful. And you know what? The best aspect of it is Tom Hardy. The best aspect, because he what he demonstrates in this film, he's a great actor.
Oh, yes, he's fantastic.
He can really, like, portray a role. You really believe that he is somebody that is mentally disturbed, that's physically exhausted. He really, really does it. But he overdoes it. He does it so well that it's just so hammy, and it doesn't fit in with the tone of everything. Like, it's a film that isn't entirely sure if it's an action film, if it's a horror film, or if it's a comedy film. And it tries to serve all of those masters. There's no character development. Just an absolute fucking mess.
That's not good.
I'm sure anyone that sees that film will back me up, and if you don't, then that's the first time I think I've ever seen a film and it genuinely offended me.
I think you need to your PayPal, because I need to see if Lady Gaga or Bradley Cooper have sent you money.
Good point, yeah.
I'm only kidding. In all seriousness, like, sorry to go off topic again, A Star Is Born, you need to go and see it, Levi.
Yeah, no, I intend to go and see it.
It's fucking good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but it's Bradley Cooper's first time directing as far as I'm aware. Obviously it's an old story. Chris Christopherson was his character previously, and there's a couple other iterations been done before, but his acting's fantastic. His singing's fantastic. The songs are pretty fucking good. The single that came out when I first heard it, talking to my partner Nancy about it, was like, I don't think the song's very good. There's parts of it that are great, but it's like the structure's pretty shit. But the film gives you context to that, which makes much more sense.
Right.
Once you watch it, you'll get that if you've listened to the song. The soundtrack is genuinely fucking incredible. Like, the songs are great.
Did Gaga write them?
I think she had a big part in it, and so did Bradley Cooper. And there's a couple of kind of Joe Bonamassa style Rocky songs that's his band's meant to be doing. His character's called like Jackson something. I can't remember exactly what his surname was, but his songs are pretty cool. They're like kind of southern rock and roll, and then she gets involved and she's got her own songs and she ends up becoming a pop star and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna give too much away, but there's songs in it that are just like the last song of the film. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but fuck me, what a performance. So good. Like, genuinely, not just it was good because it was a film, but like, I've listened to the song a few times since and been like, this is fucking good. Like,
good.
Fucking good.
Yeah. No, I'm all over it.
Like, unexpectedly good. I went to see it, like, Nancy's obsessed with Lady Gaga recently she maybe has been forever, but recently, like, she was talking about it. Since she saw the film was coming out, she basically said to me, we are going to the cinema when this comes out. Yeah. And then she was angry she didn't get to see it on release day, that she had to go the next day, like, physically angry.
Yeah. No, we were supposed to go with you, and I messaged her and said, I'm really sorry, I've double booked myself. I've got I'm going out with Marcus on that night. Could we maybe go see it on Saturday? And she just responded with, I mean, I'm happy to go see it with you on Saturday, but I'm still going to go on Thursday because I can't wait to see this film. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realise you were that passionate about it.
It was. She paid extra for the seats in the showcase, so I've got extra leg room and stuff. Yeah. There was a woman next to us whose phone went off like 6 times, and Nancy grabbed my arm like this when it happened, and like fingers into me, and I thought she was going to go over and ragdoll the women down the fucking cinema. There was only about 10 people in, and somebody comes in and leaves their phone on loud. Fucking idiot. Sorry, that was me getting a wee upset there.
But no, it serves well, because you just got really impassioned about it, and you're talking about Nance getting really impassioned by it. That's exactly it. That's what the arts bring to your life.
Yes.
So no more fucking complaining about musicians and writers and all of these people that, like, I'm not into poetry, but if you write poetry for a living, great. You create some enjoyment for people.
Definitely, I've read poems that I thought were fucking beautiful. I don't necessarily read poetry all the time. It's not something I'm big into. But as you say, it makes an impact. It changes how people feel. I was actually thinking recently, that's just a wee daft point before we move on. Like, I was really curious as to why I'm so drawn to music that's sad or angry. Like, because it seems to be the majority of music I listen to is minor key, dark themes, sad music, suspenseful, atmospheric, whatever. And I was thinking, I wonder if the reason that I really like this, and I think this might be true, is I enjoy the fact that there's something that highlights how bad things could be, so that it can contradict how, like, when you feel excellent, you know that it's really good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's highlighting the lows, but...
Or you're a closet lunatic. And you...
Probably. But the inverse is that you can enjoy positive things as well, because when I hear a really positive song, like Stevie Wonder, Overjoyed, fucking beautiful song, like, fills your heart, like, genuinely.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to have that conversation with Hayley, my wife, because she only listens to happy music. Only. She, if anything has a slight negative vibe to it, she just doesn't want it on, and I can't understand that. Like, you need both.
She also won't listen to music she hasn't bought the CD for.
I think I've moved her away from that
really?
Since getting Spotify Family. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because now she's got access to all of the Volbeat in the world.
But that doesn't change her mentality. She has to pay for it to have it. So you're paying for access to that back catalogue. So therefore, yeah. I mean, they're not quite getting the same money, but yeah, we'll not tell her that.
So this actually leads us on really nicely to this subject that I have written here.